and from an undercover CID car on Spencer Place, a gust of angry voices flew from Francis Street to the Granges and Rossington Grove as 300 youth rose up. Silence erupted into flames in a warrior charge fueled by anger, the tinder of frustration. In 1975, Chapeltown lit up into a riot attack so fierce the police almost had to surrender.
Every year, across Britain, the 5th of November is usually remembered as a night of fireworks, celebrations and bonfires. But in 1975 in Chapeltown, Leeds, Bonfire Night stands for something very different. A turning point for many, an eruption of a decade of rising tensions and miscommunications between authorities and the people of Chapeltown. 50 years later, it became a night that has lived on through memories and fragments of long-forgotten newspapers, a violent urban protest that stands as one of the most integral parts of both West Yorkshire's legacy and the first of its kind in the country's history. For some, that night had a lasting impact, experiencing the protest at just 12 years old.
We just felt this energy and we just got swept up into the riots, and it was just absolute mayhem. There were cars turned over, burnt out, there were people throwing bricks, and I think again it felt like it should be that we had no other voice. There was no other way for us to show how we felt. I understood the frustration, and I work in voices, so I work in capturing stories and people talking about their lives. So I think it's for me, it's that activism from those days and it being ignited in me that it's stayed with me for my whole life.
While Paula experienced the events as a child, David Hamilton, then teenager, was amid the chaos that night, a now well-renowned professional dancer and recipient of an MBE for his contributions to the arts in West Yorkshire.
Just round this here, it's all here, full of people. People still coming up from, I think there was a dance community, so people coming down Grange Avenue, this is Grange Avenue. And because there were so many people here, some people just literally stopped. But when the CID cars came, then the first one came, was kind of lenient. The second one came, people throwed stones. The third one came, it was chased down to Park Stores, down Spencer Place, down this way. People pick up whatever stone, whatever, bam, just like this. And we pushed the car, until it went over on its side. At that point, the meat van with dogs came and everybody just ran. They just ran. But it was a night to remember. So that's 1975 Bonfire Night. Booyaka!
However, Bonfire Night didn't come without consequences for a handful of those involved. The trial took place at Leeds Town Hall in the summer of 1976. It became bigger than just Chapeltown, bringing black defence lawyers from London and garnering support from all over Leeds. Those prosecuted became known as the Chapeltown 12. However, only 4 were convicted and received sentences for their part in Bonfire Night.
Yeah, it was a struggle. It was really daunting. So I went really into community activism. I went into sound systems. I kind of immersed myself in community and got involved in community because at least I knew I could try and get some employment. So yeah, it was kind of a struggle for me actually, if the truth be known. And I don't think really many people appreciate that struggle, having that slur of the fact that you've been locked up for assaulting a police officer.
One of the 12 defendants was a photographer and journalist for Chapeltown News. Hoping to write a Bonfire Night feature, he found himself facing 8 to 10 years in prison.
And I'm still standing on Spencer Place. The young people are dispersing, and I hold my camera up and I take a photo of a policeman coming, running at full pelt down towards me with this truncheon in the air, and I'm just taking a photo, thinking this is I might even be able to sell this photo to the media and certainly have it for Chapeltown News.
Today, he continues to study and document the events of that night.
It is important that we remember these things, and there are various ways in which you can mark its significance. One in general is, and this applies to everybody of every generation, of every class or colour or gender, knowing history is one way of making sense of the present. Chapeltown, 5th of November 1975, is the first, what I call violent urban protest in multicultural areas in the post-war period.
The clash of race and hate. Black Mariah at the ready, a convoy comes slow and menacing, swinging truncheons, dogs at the side.
Khadija Ibrahim, a literary activist and writer, now recognised by BBC Radio as one of Yorkshire's most prolific poets. By speaking to those who were there on Bonfire Night, she published a poem about the uprising in Another Crossing, a collection of poems that speak to being black and British in Leeds.
So what seems like a minor dot in the history, in a corner of a city, in a community of Chapeltown and Hare Hills, actually has a bigger, you magnify that, it actually has a bigger picture to serve. And so what young people can learn from that is about unification and understanding. And not necessarily that you have to like what that person's doing, but you have to have some sense of understanding and clarity and respect.
While uprisings across Britain in the years that followed, including those in Brixton, often define that chapter of history, Leeds formed an earlier part of that story. 50 years on, its story remains as a reminder of how history continues to influence the present.
That is true even to this day. It's not all, the police are not always in sync with the community.